Hello everyone, now welcome to the next video in Pandas tips and tricks series. Now over here we are going to learn these four things: reverse columns, reverse rows, check quality, and count values. So some of these might not be very useful, or rather I should say some of these would be something which are not very frequently used, but that is certain things which is known by very few people. So let's just run this and can be useful at at any point of time, right? So here we have this data frame which has three columns. Now let's say, just in case, if you want to reverse the order of the columns, for example, here we have name, department, and salary. Now you want to see add salary, department, and name. How can you do that? So there are a couple of ways. First way is you can simply say df, inside that df dot columns, and into this you can say colon colon -1. Now you see over here salary, department, and name. Previously what we had, name, department, salary, and now we have this. So this is nothing but just selecting the columns in different in reverse order. Next function which we have is df, and there is one inbuilt function which is reversed, and inside that you're going to use df dot columns, and let's just see. So here is what you got. You see, this is exactly the same and same answer, but there is one downside of using reversed. In case if you have somehow, if you have duplicate columns in the data, it will repeat those columns multiple times. So yeah, that's something which you can use with care, right? It's like handle with care. Now the next thing is reversing the order of rows. How can you reverse the order of rows? So it's exactly going to be the same as we did it for columns, right? But here what we're gonna do is we're gonna say df dot, or it's not even required, ilog, and inside that we're gonna say colon colon -1. Let's just see. So here you see the name Dhananjay we have at the top, and in original data set if you see the name Dhananjay we have at bottom, like you can see over here, right? So this is how you can reverse the rows as well. You can use reversed function also over here as well. Let's just see how can we do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say df dot, inside this we're gonna say reversed df dot reindex. We need to say df dot reindex, and inside that we're gonna say reversed, please bear with me, reversed, and inside that we're gonna say df dot index. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it just worked. So reindexing, we are doing the reindexing of these things, and we are just reversing that while we are doing the reindex. So this is how you can do the reversing of rows as well. Now again, it also has the same downside. If you have duplicate rows, the number of rows are likely to increase, so you just handle with care. Now then there is another thing which comes, checking the equality of columns. So some of the time it will happen. For example, let me take this. Okay, now let's just say here we have name, and I'm going to repeat this, and I'm going to create another column. Let's comment this first, and here I'm going to say first name instead, and into this what I can do is here I'm just going to say Cooper. I'm intentionally changing one name, right? So now let's just check whether name and first name. So many of the time it happens in the same data we get similar column with little bit of different name, right? So how can we check whether both of these two columns have same value or not? So for that there is a function which is called, you use the data frame name on which you want to apply this, and then there is function called equals, and inside that you put the other column which you want to check. All right, so here let me say name. So you want to use df.name.equals, and on that you want to check the equality, right? So df, let me repeat it once again, take the data frame name and then take the column on which you want to check the equality, so that is name, and then use the function equals, and inside that put another column with which you want to compare, so that is first name. So I'm going to say df dot first name, and here it says false, which means there is some value which is not common in both of the two columns, right? So certainly we should be cautious that both of these two columns are not exactly the same. All right, so there is another method also, assertion, which you can also use. If you want, if you are interested in knowing that, you can just let me know into the comment section. I'll definitely try to help you out. Now there is another way, there is another use of this equals. If you want, you can use this thing to check two data frames as well. For example, here I'm going to check, let me just create another copy of this data frame over here, and this time I'm going to say this new df, new df. Let me say this new df, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this and uncomment this, right? So let's just see if we want to compare both of these two data frame, right? So let's say df dot equals, is that going to work? Yes, this is. And let's say new df, yeah, still it is saying false. Now let me try to keep the same columns over here, and you see over here it says true, means df and new df both are exactly same. So I just hope that it was clear to you. Now the next thing is count values. So there are many scenarios where we require this particular column, a particular function, right? So one of the scenario which I'm going to use is, let's say we want to check the duplicates, whether first name has duplicate values or not. Or let me just comment first name and use department. So in department, let me just create some duplicate values. Okay, now here we have duplicate values in department. Next thing which I'm going to do is check how many, whether it has duplicates or not first. So let me say new df dot duplicated. Yes, it says yes. Oh, it says all false. Why is that saying all false? Because it is on all the data frame. Now let me use one column which is department. Now it says there is one duplicate. Right now here you have just 5 records. That's why you are, it's very pretty simple to identify how many duplicates and how many non-duplicates are there. Just in case if you don't sorry, if you have huge volume of data, how are you gonna manage that? So for that there is function which is called value counts. I'm just letting it auto complete, and then you see here record there are 4 non-duplicate and 1 duplicate record. So this is for today. There are 4 things which we learned: how to reverse the columns, how to reverse the rows, how to compare equality. This is very very important, how to check the equality of similar columns or two data frames, right? And then again, this is also very very useful. If you are someone who follows my videos, you would see in many of the videos I use this thing, right? So just I hope that it was useful for you. Just in case if you get any question, put that into the comment section below, and I'll definitely try to help you out. And yes, before we end this call, I would like to give a credit of this video to Data School, because this is highly inspired by Data School. I learned a lot of things from Data School, and then basis on that I work. And here also I covered some of the topics which were taught by Data School. Thanks once again, wish you good luck.